Let's start off with where and when was Humans vs. Hamster actually filmed?
We went to Toronto to film it in March of last year?
Last March.
Yeah.
Yep. I had been contacted by some of the people from the show about, hey, we'd really like you to do this. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if it was some of my acting work. I don't know if it was another show I did or whatever, but they contacted me. I ignored them about 3 times because I was just like, I don't even know what this is. Then I looked into it. I was like, this seems like fun. And I said, I think John would be awesome to sort of be a partner with. So that's how we got involved.
You said you did other acting work? What have you done before?
I've done some film, TV shows, and some commercials and this and that over the past few years. Probably the biggest thing I did a 5-part docudrama for the FX network that I had the starring role in. Oh, wow. Unfortunately, it was right before COVID hit. So it came out, and then everyone was like, oh my God, this is going to be great. You're going to get so much work. COVID hit, everything shut down, and it was forgotten about pretty much. But it's fun. I just, do things here and there just to keep it up.
Did you get paid for the Human versus Hamster?
Very little.
in hamster feed, pretty much.
We had a $500 stipend when we were there from, the 7 to 10 days that we were hanging out. We had $500 that we could spend at our leisure.
Which we really didn't need so much because they provided everything for us.
They flew us there. They paid for the hotel.
Right.
They fed us breakfast and lunch every single day, and once in a while a dinner meal if we were there for a long time. So the $500 we actually didn't need that much. So we almost pocketed $400 out of it.
And then it was just whatever we won on the show.
Yeah.
We
don't want to give any spoilers out, but whatever we won on the show, that's what we made.
What was the training and preparation like?
We had to run in hamster wheels a lot to train. No. I just carried on with what I normally did, working out and jogging and stuff like that. Nothing crazy. We didn't know what we were going to do. They didn't tell us much about the show.
Yeah, we knew very, very little going in. We didn't know what any of the challenges were going to be. All they said was that we're going to have hamsters perform some things, and you're going to have to perform the same things on a larger scale.
So you can only imagine, what do hamsters do on a normal basis?
Right.
And you kind of gauge what you are going to train with according to that.
Well, during the show, while watching it, it seems like the hamsters are right next to you guys, right next to the set that you're doing the same obstacle, right?
Yeah.
Were they actually there, or was that filmed another time?
It's a little yes and no. It's a little of both, really.
Yeah,
they were there.
They didn't run at the same exact time as we were running our obstacle.
This filming this show opened our eyes a lot to how reality competition shows are actually filmed. What's real, what's not real, what's edited in, things like that. So yes, the hamsters are there, and they had the miniature obstacles just like ours right there, and they would set them up at the starting line so it looked like they were starting at the same time as we were. But then all their stuff was pre-filmed, and they just edited that in.
Gotcha. The magic.
Well, a little bit of spoilers ahead. If you guys haven't watched Humans vs. Hamster, go watch it on Max. In the first challenge, you guys were going up against, or in the first episode, you were going against the doctors, correct?
The nurses.
Nurses, I'm so sorry.
No.
You guys did, especially you did spectacular in that first challenge compared to them. What was that like? What was going through your mind?
Don't die. These challenges were much tougher than we anticipated they were going to be. And every contestant who was there was saying the same thing, that we were not prepared for what we were really doing. And let me just say, we had a ball, and I would go back and do it again in a second. But they played a little fast and loose with some of the safety concerns. So we really weren't sure what was going on.
Yeah, it was their first time doing the show. So they were assembling these things and learning on the fly. As they were building and putting the show together, it was almost like a beta version of something.
Wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you guys had to sign a waiver, right? Safety?
Yeah.
A lot of pages.
Yeah, it was 30 some odd, I think 39 pages or something like that.
Yeah, we need to get a physical, a mental evaluation. They wanted to make sure they crossed the T's and dotted their I's and made sure all the legal paperwork was in order before we did any of this crazy stuff.
What was it like choosing each person for each challenge? Did you guys know what the challenge was going to be going into it? Did you choose strategically?
I think we thought about it at first when they had us in the conference room of the hotel lobby, and they explained all the challenges. They laid it out in front of us as to who's capable of running which one, and then afterwards they just said, go figure it out. and it took a couple of days to figure out who would do what according to height and speed and all that stuff.
Yeah, we didn't know, again, we didn't know anything going in. So it wasn't until we got there that they sort of showed us the challenges, showed us little pictures of them. It was really just images. We didn't actually get to see the challenges until the day we were there.
Just went through them like click, click, click.
And then they took us to a warehouse, and we sort of did a little sort of obstacle course. Hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Because we didn't even know which challenges we were doing yet. So after doing that, we sort of determined, okay, you're going to be better at this. I'm going to be better at this. So we just figured it out that way.
You guys had a lot of really good, like, on-camera chemistry. It was really funny to watch.
Oh, good.
During that last challenge, you were doing really well. I could tell how difficult that must have been. But were the obstacles really as difficult as they seemed and were, like, explained to the audience?
They were more difficult than they seemed and were explained, really. The last challenge was one of those things that we had to determine who was running that last challenge before we even knew if we were in it. So we didn't know if we were even going to the final challenge. We didn't know if we were going to win, but we had to determine that. And the thing is, we're both competitive and we both wanted to do it.
Yeah.
We flipped a coin to determine who was going to do the last challenge because we both wanted to. So the coin came up in my favor, and I was great. But how nervous was I, though, going into? Yeah, I was like, because at first I didn't want to embarrass him. I didn't want to disappoint him if I didn't do well. But when they finally showed it to us, it was crazy. It was just
big.
Yeah, it was big. It was long. I hated those dominoes. I saw stars on those dominoes. I fell head over heels, fell on my head on the way down, and I was dazed for a couple of seconds.
You have no training for any of it.
Yeah,
you kind of walk alongside of it, and they say these are the obstacles you need to do. But like if you're in a classroom, you're not given a test right away. You're prepared for it. You're taught how to do certain things, and then you get to assess how well you could do it. This was not like that.
That's a good analogy.
Thank you.
That was good. That was good. We did that a lot while we were there.
We did.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the hamster was flying through.
That hamster. He never got distracted.
That was...
Yeah. Those hamsters are fast.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's going to slow them down is if they get distracted.
Yeah.
Other than that, if they're just determined to get to the end.
You can tell how fast they do things, like multiple times faster than humans. But that's it. If they get distracted and turn around and like sit down and eat something, like they can get distracted and a human can easily win any obstacle. So it's all about their distraction.
Yeah.
What was like the initial reaction when you knew and when you guys won the challenge to actually get into that final round? And then how did you feel when you lost to the rodent?
Well, that's all.
That's the tiebreaker.
Yeah, that's all on this guy.
In the wheel.
Yeah, that's all on this guy. Yeah.
That was amazing. I love situations like that. Being put under pressure in like a physical aspect. I love it. So I was just ready to go. I was ready to kill him.
Yeah, you did spectacular.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was when he went tumbling out of that wheel.
Oh my God, a little bit of a relief because in the beginning you were like
he was ahead of you a little bit, yeah, which was
said
crazy.
His numbers were changing like 2-2,
yeah,
3-3. Like I was right there behind him, and in my mind I said to myself, I'll push it at the end, but knowing the fact that he ended up tumbling out, it helped a little bit.
We were very happy that it ended up as competitive as it did. We wouldn't have been happy if we won every competition and we were just going in and stuff because we were there. Our main goal was to have fun. We didn't really care about the money. We didn't really care. We wanted to have fun, and that made it fun. And the two people we were going against, the nurses, they were incredible. They were great people. All the other contestants were great. We had a great time. We spent 2 weeks up filming for there, and we got to know everybody really well. We still keep in contact with everybody from there.
Great group of people.
So just really, really good people there, and just a great time. And again, I would go back and do it in a second.
Me too.
You want to explain the belt? You want to explain the belt?
The belt was really sort of a joke, I guess. We were still there, and I took a picture of the logo that they had on the wall, and I got it made up, and I didn't tell him that I got them made up. I got one for him also, and I had them sent to our houses, and they were here by the time we got back from Canada filming and stuff, just as a little memento for what we did. I wish it represented the championship and that we actually defeated.
A lot of people saw them in our classroom and were like, I think they won.
No, if we won, I was going to get the official medal gold, heavy duty
boy
belts.
one.
Yeah, I was going to really get the ones, but these were just fun to have, just little mementos, reminders of our time there.
How did your family and friends feel when watching the episode after watching it? What was that like?
But everybody,
My 3-year-old niece, I get pictures sent to me from my aunt of my 3-year-old niece watching it every single night since it came out. They ask her, what do you want to watch tonight before she goes to bed? She goes, I want to watch Uncle Johnny every single night. So every night they've been watching it.
Nice.
And they send me pictures of her like relaxed on the couch watching it. Same episode every single night. So that hits me in the heart. Like, I love that she loves it so much.
That's got to be a spectacular feeling. So the day after Human vs. Hamster premiered, a lot of teachers were actually showing their students the show. What was the reaction like from your students?
I felt honored that people, students that I've had in years past, students that I've never had, they all wanted to watch the show that a teacher in their school or maybe a prior teacher that they have has been on TV. Just that connection with the whole school was very nice.
I was nervous, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was nervous because we didn't get an advanced screening of the show. So we didn't get a chance to see it. So we're watching at the same time everybody else is watching it. So did we look like fools? We filmed so much more than what they showed. More interviews, more
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, a lot of stuff like that we ended up filming that they edited out. So we didn't know what they were actually using or not using. So I was nervous. I didn't know how the show was actually going to come across and what it was going to look like. But afterwards, after seeing it, after hearing the reaction, because the students were just they were so gracious about it and have so much fun with it and stuff. So it was really a lot of fun.
And let's face it, anytime a student can watch TV instead of learn a math lesson or English lesson, they're down.
It's true.